This is the MCTV Evening News with Jim Prince and Mike Doody.
Good evening. Montreal Dr. Henry Morgentaler is now expected to arrive in Toronto this evening to surrender to the police. Metro Police have issued a warrant for Morgentaler's arrest, once again on charges of conspiracy to procure an abortion. In the meantime, abortions at the recently reopened clinic have been halted. Staff members say they are referring patients to other hospitals and to Morgentaler's Montreal clinic.
Pro- and anti-abortion forces held noisy counter-demonstrations this morning outside the Harvard Street Clinic. Pro-lifers were pleased that new charges have been laid.
It's fantastic. I think it's wonderful news. It's justice, too. Instead of arresting people sitting on the stairs, the police have now arrested real criminals.
The doctors discussed late into last night. They felt the best way to support the women and make sure they got the services, because the hospitals are booked up right into the end of January now, is to get them to Montreal.
Dr. Robert Scott was arrested last night as he left the clinic. He was charged with conspiracy to procure a miscarriage and then released. Police also issued a warrant for the arrest of Dr. Henry Morgentaler. He plans to return to Toronto tonight and surrender to police. Yesterday, Solicitor General George Taylor said he was growing impatient over the lack of police action against the clinic. The arrest of Dr. Scott occurred just a few hours later. But Metro Police Chief Jack Marks says his officers were not responding to political pressure.
He brought no pressure to bear on this police force. I've had no conversation with him prior to what took place last night, so definitely there was no pressure, and certainly we are not governed as far as the type of action we took last night by the Solicitor General.
Marks called the arrests prudent and in the public interest. He would not speculate on further police action if the clinic starts doing abortions again.
As Christmas and New Year's draws near, an unknown number of traffic fatalities is waiting in the wings. As always, police forces across the country are preparing for the worst. As Kevin Vincent reports, the crackdown on drinking driving appears to be working, but police officers are still out in full force.
The statistics are alarming. Last year, 998 people were killed in motor vehicle accidents in Ontario alone. 508 of those people were killed because of a drunk driver. Even more astounding is the fact there were 259,000 accidents, of which more than 50% were caused by alcohol. Corporal Marcel Boulanger of District 15 OPP headquarters in South Porcupine is once again warning drivers that spot checks will be out there and that police are more determined than ever to catch drunks behind the wheel. He says the situation is improving.
Yes, the statistics we're keeping for the past couple of years indicate that people are learning and are getting better educated about drinking and driving and are doing their bit about it. The number of persons charged or the number of 12-hour suspensions is decreasing as the years go by.
The bottom line, though, is to use your head.
Yeah. You know, appeal to everybody not to drink and drive, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year's, and make sure that they remain with loved ones and not be a statistic or a victim of an accident.
Some numbers to keep in mind. Last year, the Cochrane region witnessed 1,823 accidents. 18 people were killed in 12 crashes. 11 of the drivers were drunk. This is Kevin Vincent reporting.
The efforts to rescue 28 miners trapped in a burning coal mine in Utah have now centered on a 1-inch air hole. The tiny hole was drilled through from an adjacent mine, and it's hoped it will provide enough air to keep the miners alive. 27 men and 1 woman have been trapped in the mine for roughly 20 hours now. They are believed to be in an excavation about a half a kilometer beyond the fire scene. The main danger at this point is a buildup of deadly carbon monoxide gas, which, if it reaches the miners, could kill them in minutes. Tougher regulations may face commercial pilots soon. A coroner's jury in British Columbia wants Transport Canada to tighten its regulations for pilot proficiency tests. In addition, it is suggesting stricter enforcement of existing rules for air safety. The jury made its recommendation following investigation of a plane crash which killed 9 people last summer on Vancouver Island. Frank Miller wants PC party members and the caucus members to be more involved in decision-making if he becomes the next Premier of Ontario. Miller spoke at a Sudbury luncheon today for Northern Ontario members and leadership delegates. He says he will form 7 regional party councils and expand responsibilities to caucus members and elected party officials. He would also form special caucus committees to advise the cabinet on important areas. Outgoing Premier Bill Davis has been criticized for making decisions with only a small group of elite people rather than consulting the caucus. Catholic bishops in Ontario don't want too many non-Catholic teachers in separate high schools. The Ontario Conference of Bishops has issued a stern policy letter saying non-Catholic teachers should be restricted to 10% of the total number of separate school teachers. The policy statement was issued to help separate schools plan for the full public financing, which is slated for the fall. In addition, the bishops say separate schools should not be forced to accept non-Catholic students. It's this type of restriction that is causing concern for public school teachers throughout Ontario. In a related story, the majority of public school directors of education want the fund expansion program delayed. In a brief presented to Premier Bill Davis, the directors are calling for some sort of unified school system that would supersede the existing school boards. Most Canadians at Christmas spent a lot of time worrying about whether they have purchased the right gifts or whether they have bought enough liquor for friends who will be dropping by. There are many in this country, though, who simply can't afford the traditional favors of the season. Their plight was graphically illustrated in Vancouver today when a charity food bank ran out of provisions.
In the heart of Vancouver's financial district, business people in a hurry cast sidelong glances at a scene most would rather not see. It's distribution day at the city's largest food bank in Christchurch Cathedral. The lineup stretched for more than a block. It's the last chance to get groceries before Christmas. Welfare checks aren't due until the 27th, and most of these people will make Christmas dinner from the meager bundles they get here. It's cold out, and some of them have been freezing on the street since 2 and 3 in the morning.
Figures are just about double what they were last year, and about tenfold what they were the year before.
31! 31! 32! 32!
The food bank uses a numbering system. They stand in line for tickets and then wait until their numbers are called. Unfortunately, the bank ran out of tickets with hundreds still in line.
Take the card to your welfare worker, tell her that you came down to the food bank, but they'd run out of groceries, okay? And ask her for a food voucher. That just proves that you came down here, all right? And we're not guaranteeing that they'll give you one, but it might help anyway. Do you want one?
Sir. In one small incident like that, it says it all.
What does it say?
That a lot of people are very upset, very depressed, especially this time of the year. Shouldn't have to be. They shouldn't have to come here for a bag of food.
Merry Christmas, boys.
Merry Christmas. Is that going to last you?
Well, I'll have to make it. Got to suffer all the way through with it. With a family, you got to suffer with it.
Do you have any food now?
No, none at all.
Nothing?
Nothing, really. Or, well, something small, eh?
When was the last time you ate?
Lunchtime at a friend's place, yesterday.
Lunchtime yesterday?
That's correct, yes.
So you're hungry now?
Well, yes. It's one way to lose weight, I guess.
Do you have any food at all?
I just have 2 cans. Meatballs and beans.
So that's to do you until you get your check?
Right.
That's the 27th?
Right.
For one man at least, the wait in sub-zero weather and his hunger were too much. He collapsed in the lineup and was taken away by ambulance. Despite his condition, however, all he cared about was that bag of groceries. He finally got it, but hundreds of others in this city are hungry tonight.
The Ontario Court of Appeal has set a precedent by including a cost of living clause in the support payments of a separated woman. The appeal court's decision follows a lower court judgment. It says a cost of living clause must take inflation as well as increases in the husband's income into consideration. In this particular case, the 3 judges ruled bonuses and other benefits received by the husband should also be considered in addition to his base salary. The woman's lawyer, Linda Silver-Dranoff, believes it's the first time a Canadian High Court has endorsed cost of living clauses for family support. The newly opened Cor Jesus Center for Alcoholics on Ross Avenue in Timmins is a rousing success. As Kevin Vincent reports, the treatment facility has been in operation for only 2 months now, yet it already has more than 10 graduates.
Corey Zoo Center is a privately run rooming house designed to treat men and women in the Timmins area who are hooked on booze. The chairman of its board of directors, Denny Carrier, points out the center already has a waiting list in addition to the 20 or so residents.
We try to keep that list very short in the sense of trying to help these people as soon as possible, because they don't need help in a few months, they need help now.
But Carrier says Corey Zoo can't do it alone. Now that the center has proven to be successful, its founders feel a halfway house somewhere in the community is a must.
I think we are be trying to bring some attention to that need. We cannot answer that need presently and are not foreseen to be doing so. But these people, some of these people rather, need some assistance, some help, and a halfway house for some of them would be the answer for the near future.
It's estimated that Corey Zoo Center needs close to $160,000 per year to operate. It started with a few private donations, and today, Council 6808 of the Knights of Columbus presented the center with a check for $2,000, in addition to a color TV they already donated. The Timmins JC Senators are expected to make a donation announcement in the new year. In order to keep the Corey Zoo Center operating for a long time to come, officials here are hoping that they get a lot of funding announcements like today's. This is Kevin Vincent reporting.
Cochrane North businessmen are hoping to add a touch of European flavor to the area in the near future. Conservative MPP Rennie Pichet says he hopes to have a trade mission of local businessmen organized soon for a trip overseas to sell Northern Ontario wares. Pichet is also hoping the group can convince European companies to consider the Kapuskasing area if and when they decide to locate in Canada.
I've been in contact with Mr. Miller and Mr. Keller, the federal minister for trade, for international trade, and the plans are underway right now, and that could be a major development if we're successful.
Pichet is hoping the trade mission will become a reality before the end of 1985. Stats Canada says if the country's birth rate continues to fall, the total population of Canada will start dropping by the turn of this century. It was predicted a few years ago that baby boomers would create a new baby boom. The problem is that baby boomers aren't as productive as their parents. At the peak of the boom in 1959, each Canadian mother averaged 3.9 children. That figure today is reduced to an average of 1.7 children. In business today, the Canadian dollar gained some ground, but stocks in Toronto slumped, and the price of gold continued its decline at the London bullion market. More in dollars and cents by Don Chapman.
Today in business, Canada's major chartered banks announced a half-point drop in prime lending rates effective tomorrow to 11.25%. The Bank of Canada rate took a tumble of more than a quarter of a point to 10.16% from 10.56 last week. 9 million Bell Canada subscribers to pay an extra 2% on their telephone bills starting January 1st following a CRTC approval. Wall Street investment bankers say the foreign investment needed to create jobs could take a long time to enter Canada. On the markets at the close, Dow Jones down 6 points, TSE Composite down 8. Gold selling at $307. Silver, $6.35. Nickel, $2.20 U.S. Copper, 60 cents U.S. Canada's dollar at the close, 75.70 cents U.S. No change generally in the prime rates. Northern Ontario stock issues at the close. Falconbridge up 3/4, one of the major movers. The other, Noranda, down 3/8. For dollars and cents, I'm Don Chapman.
Molson Canadian. Taste that'll stop you cold.
How can you improve the efficiency of your business? By keeping in touch with Motorola two-way radios from Northern Communications. Reliable mobile radios for your vehicles and rugged portable radios that can be carried everywhere. Both provide rapid communication to increase productivity, give better service, and improve management control. Two-way radios from Northern Communications. keeping your business in touch. Call toll-free 1-800-461-3317, in Sudbury 675-8327.
Philishave, the shaving machine that challenges the world. Every blade, every electric, in closeness, comfort, speed, and performance. Only Philishave holds its charge twice as long as any rechargeable shaver. Only Philishave has 3 rotary action floating heads with a unique patented lift and cut system. Get it, try it, and like it, or get your money back. Philishave from Philips.
Ebenezer, you like buying Christmas gifts.
I know, they're cheap.
But at Canadian Tire.
This Proctor Silex 12-cup coffee maker with activated charcoal water filter is just $39.95. And this Proctor Silex continuous clean toaster oven with broiler, just $64.95.
Merry Christmas.
Why,
I dreamt I bought gifts at Canadian Tire. And I liked it.
Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
Okay, we'll have a look at the weather for this evening, and it looks like we're going to have another change for the weekend weather. Not quite as warm as we got last weekend, but it is going to be warm enough to create a fair amount of snow flurry activity. We were influenced by a high-pressure cell right smack dab in the middle of the North Country today, and that kept the skies fairly clear for most of the day, and it wasn't until late afternoon until we saw a bit of a cloud cover. But under those sunny skies, temperatures got up into about the mid-teens. At a partly cloudy day in southern Ontario today, and a lot warmer there than we had, 0 degrees down at Toronto. Out east, it was as high as -2 at Ottawa this afternoon. We had -3 at Montreal and Quebec City, and +3 out at Halifax this afternoon, so it's fairly warm out in the east coast. Now, out west we go, and 13 degrees this afternoon, and cloudy skies and flurries at Winnipeg, -10, and cloudy weather at Regina, 0 at Calgary this afternoon, and 0 out in the west coast. Vancouver had some snow flurries this afternoon, so maybe they're going to have themselves a white Christmas out there. Let's hope they do. Now, this system developing in the American Midwest will sweep through, and as it comes through in the next few hours, overnight, the temperatures will warm up, and the winds will shift and come into the region from the southeast. And we'll check the forecast for you now and get in a little more detail. It'll be strong winds as a result of this system moving through, and they'll be from the southeast, but we're going to get some snow out of this. Temperatures will remain fairly steady at about the -7 degree mark through most of the weekend, and there's a good chance that we're going to get snow throughout all of this weekend. That's the weather for now. Coming up next with sports, Mike Doody.
As you remember, class, last week's Lotto 649 lesson on preparing for the big win dealt with putting maitre d's in their place. Today's lesson is on buying art. Repeat after me, Leonardo da Vinci.
Leonard da Vinci.
Renoir.
Renoir.
Renoir. Modigliani.
Modigliani?
No. Modigliani.
Lotto 649, exceptionally attractive prizes, $1 the ticket.
Will you be ready?
If memory serves me correctly, there was a chill in the air that night. But inside, the fire cast a warm glow upon us all. Melissa had worked her usual magic with the flowers, the hors d'oeuvres, even the entertainment. As we lingered over coffee and I told her how perfect everything had been, she smiled and passed me an after 8.
Les Promenades du Cuivre of Rouen-Noranda, with 3 large anchor stores and more than 50 friendly shops. It's a Christmas treasure land of gift ideas. Store after store, the selection is unending. You'll find everything you need for everyone on your gift list. Les Promenades du Cuivre, with large parking facilities and comfortable indoor relaxation areas. Les Promenades du Cuivre, a city-sized shopping center in downtown Rouen-Noranda. See the full line of 1985 Bombardier Skidoos now at El Gagne Incorporated, 741 Avenue La Rivière in Rouen, Quebec.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let's recap the National Hockey League scoreboard. Games played last night. Hartford coming back to edge the Boston Bruins 6-5. Winnipeg nipping the New York Rangers 5-4. The New Jersey Devils now undefeated for 5 games, edging Pittsburgh 3-2. Buffalo doubling Chicago 6-3. Coach Scotty Bowman becoming the winningest coach in National Hockey League history. It was St. Louis topping Minnesota 4-1. And Wayne Gretzky had 2 goals and 4 assists in helping the Oilers top the LA Kings 7-3. Gretzky's first point and assist was career point number 1,000. Gretzky talked about his new record after the game.
Your heart flutter a little bit?
Well, I was saying that it's ironic that out of all the years I've played, my breakaways haven't been so great, and that this was an opportunity to be able to say I got the 1,000th point on a breakaway, and unfortunately I hit the goalpost, and fortunately Mike made a great play in following up the play and put it in the empty net, and now the point is a point, and one goal is a goal, and I think about it, but you know, I have nothing I can do about it now.
You hold just all the scoring records in the National Hockey League. Is this one a little more significant?
Well, anytime you get a record in the NHL, I always say that it's a great honor, and anybody gets a chance to, they'll know the feeling. But this one's more of a personal satisfaction for me, in that a lot of people criticize my ability and my talents, and a lot of people hung in there with me that believed in me and said that I could play. And personally, I felt great to be able to show the people that backed me that I did do it, and be able to show the other people that didn't believe in me that I could also do it.
The NHL goes with 4 games tonight. It'll be Washington visiting Montreal, Detroit hosting Quebec, New Jersey visiting Philadelphia, and Vancouver go against the Flames in Calgary. In the Porcupine Juvenile League tonight, it'll be the Kapuskasing Steelers going against the Timmins-Matagami Hotel Flyers. Game time is 7:30 at the Sportsplex. In the Timmins Midget League, a twin bill at the Whitney Arena. In the opener at 7 o'clock, Miller Paving faces off against Timmins Moose. And following that game, Timmins Collision takes to the ice against the East End Eagles. The Soviets are here. For the first time, as part of a cooperative effort, a touring midget Soviet squad will play a series of games across the country, with the first matchup tomorrow night in Toronto. Jerry Dobson has an update.
This is Team Ontario, one of 5 squads across the country preparing to host the national midget team of the Soviet Union in a series of 10 exhibition games. Each team will play the Soviets twice. It's part of a 5-year project by the CAHA, which gives 20 midget age players on each team a chance to play against the Soviets, the first time a team of that age group from the Soviet Union has toured this country. The first game will be Friday night at Maple Leaf Gardens, which gives Coach Dave Chambers of York University a tiny amount of time to prepare his charges.
Well, I think this is a challenge. I think in coaching you like to, any challenge you can get, you like to take it on. I think you learn as a coach every time you have a different experience. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think that these boys will give a very good showing for themselves.
Of the 20 players here, 11 are from OHL teams. Kelly Kane of Toronto plays for the London Knights and sees this opportunity providing an extra option.
If it happens that I don't make the NHL after my 3 years, that'll be probably going to Olympics my 4th year.
Tony Crisp, whose father Terry played in the NHL, is from the Sioux and is not concerned about playing the Russians just 3 days after forming the team.
We got a highly qualified coaching staff. It helps a lot. They teach you things, the players teach you things, and just watching the other players, you learn a lot.
No, they're very receptive. This is a very good group. There's certainly some outstanding talent here, and as far as skating speed, we've got some very, very fast skaters here. So they're just not quite as strong as the older boys. That's probably the difference.
The games against the Soviets are part of a 5-year program designed to recognize talent in our hockey players under age 18. With the average age of Canada's Olympic team around 20, chances are some of these players could be in Calgary in 1988.
Through some sort of foul-up, members of the French language media did not receive ballots when the voting for Canada's Male Athlete of the Year was held earlier this fall. So a vote between Alex Baumann and runner-up Gaetan Boucher is being taken again. Baumann says he's ready for the possibility of losing this time. He says right now the trophy is tainted and he won't accept it that way. Boucher doesn't think he deserves the award over Baumann, but he wonders how they could hold a cross-Canada vote without including Quebec. Boucher is quoted as saying he received 25 first-place votes the first time around compared to Baumann's 29. No one knows who the female athlete of the year is. Voting for that honor is also being conducted again between Ann Ottenbright and Sylvie Bernier. The holiday season of bowl football games swing into the spotlight beginning tomorrow with what is being billed as the Holiday Bowl for the U.S. College Championship, when #1 rated Brigham Young meets Michigan. Here's an early preview.
Ace passer Robbie Bosco. Brigham Young is top-ranked by both wire service polls, but its image is not #1. Many feel the Cougars, even this year, are not as strong as the traditional college powers. Michigan coach Bo Schembechler tells why the Wolverines chose to play Brigham Young in the Holiday Bowl.
And I think that our team understands that we are given the opportunity to play the #1 team in the nation, not necessarily on what we did this year, but on the great success of the Michigan program in the past and the great tradition of Michigan.
Michigan relies on sophomore Chris Zerbug at quarterback. He has completed well over half his passes for more than 600 yards. Freshman Jamie Morris at tailback has rushed for 562 yards. The Michigan defense, traditionally strong, is among the nation's best, allowing only 16 points per game. Still, Brigham Young is favored by a touchdown.
The Department of Parks and Recreation, in conjunction with the Ministry of Tourism and Recreation, is sponsoring a Fitness Leaders Training Clinic. The clinic is open to any and all fitness instructors interested in learning the skills that are vital to enable them to lead safe and enjoyable fitness classes in the community. It's also available to people interested in becoming fitness instructors. Northern College will be the setting of the 32-hour course from Friday, January the 11th to Sunday, January the 27th. The registration fee is $60 and applications are available at the Department of Parks and Recreation. The registration will close January the 4th. That's early evening sports. Back in just a few moments.
Tis the week before Christmas, and in every store there's the hustle and bustle of shoppers galore. With your big presents bought, and there's still lots to do, you need something for the cousins, Uncle Ed and Aunt Sue. There's the mailman, the neighbors, the list is so long. Here's Santa's suggestion, and I won't steer you wrong. For last-minute gifts don't get left in the cold. This Christmas, give tickets from Pot of Gold.
Price and value, the two most important things on your grocery list.
That's why you should be shopping IGA.
In addition to full service, IGA's warehouse prices are in effect every day, every week on the products we know you buy most often.
And as an extra bonus, IGA gives you bicycle week specials, so you save even more.
Isn't it time that you shopped at IGA, where people come first and prices are second to none?
The big last-minute sale is now on at Les Galeries Vachon in Rouen. Great last-minute savings in every department at the store. Les Galeries Vachon have a great selection of Christmas gift ideas for the whole family at super discount prices. And to accommodate their customers, they're open every night till 9 p.m. until December 22nd. Don't miss the big last-minute sale at Les Galeries Vachon in Rouen. Special Christmas greetings come your way from everyone at Les Galeries Vachon. Cloutier's Machine Shop, a name that has earned trust with reliable services and qualified tradesmen. No matter what your job requirements are, big or small, Cloutier's can handle it. Custom fabricating can be done quickly in their modern and up-to-date facility. Precise machining handled by their highly qualified tradesmen only amplifies the desire of Cloutier Machine Shop to deliver the finest possible product. Call Cloutier Machine Shop in Kapuskasing at 335-2950 for your next estimate.
Mike, a bit of snow in the forecast. Does that make the skiers happy?
Yes, I was talking to Laurie Kreiner today, and they're certainly hoping for a little bit more snow, and with a little bit of luck, a little bit of snow tomorrow and the next day. They'll be open over the holidays. Hopefully for this weekend, they'll have the bunny patch in operation.
Oh, that's good.
But we would like to remind everybody that the lodge and the facilities at Kamuskoka are open. So if you want to drop out there, certainly to drop out and say hello. But we've got our fingers crossed for a little bit of snow, and hopefully the tow and everything will be in operation.
More than fingers, we've got snow in the forecast.
Let's hope so.
That's our program for now. For Mike Doody, I'm Jim Prince. Have a nice evening.